guys, welcome back to the TheEZGZ garage. Gonna do a little tranny work today. This transmission was in the Baja and I had an oil leak. This was out of stock. I did not know anything about it. I could not remember anything about it. Not sure where this one came from, but it's a single-sided case, which would indicate it's a later model. Freeway Flyer could be. So let's take it apart and just see exactly what we got here. Now you can just take your nose cone, and I use silicone on this one, and I see a spot that probably wouldn't have sealed too good. I don't know about using silicone for every little thing. And this back section here is the intermediate housing. That's 13 millimeter. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 or 9 nuts on that. Alright, this engine stand is a real plus. It makes wrestling it on a bench is kind of a pain. Now you've got a plastic seal, and if you're careful, you can get it out and reuse them. I think I can save that one. And we'll just do one side at a time here. I've got a this isn't a snap ring tool, but it's a spreads a C-clip tool, maybe you could call it. I don't know. Sometimes these can... Ha! It's just for a circlip, C-clip. I don't know what you want to call it. That came right off. I like to lay it down someplace. This other transmission should be here, but I got some other things going on, and I don't want to. I want to get into this one. I might want to put it in the car, in the Baja. I think there's another spacer underneath that. Let's get this stuff done so we don't have to backtrack here. Let's see if I can catch that. Drop. Ha! 2 times. What are the chances of that? Ha. Another C-clip. There should be a looks like a C-clip, but it's not. Okay, this side doesn't have bolts on it because this is it's a newer, it's the later style Freeway Flyer. Hopefully that'll drop in my container there. You really need a book. You can't just learn this watching a video. You're going to need the specifications, the torque, the different clearances. Probably best to use a drift. Ah, there's one. This goes under the flange. Don't lose any of this stuff. They make specialty tools for all of this stuff, but you can get by without it. And you just have to figure out from experience what you have around your garage that's going to work for you. You've got a seal in here. Got that other little spacer from this side. Now, carrier should lift out. Look at your tooth pattern on the front and the back. This looks gorgeous. It's always nice to, if you want to figure out what your gear ratio is, you can just count your teeth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30, 31. 31. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 31 divided by 8. Somebody grab your calculator and figure that out. Kind of nasty in here in the bottom. Always will be. Stuff will settle at night. And you just want to clean all that stuff up. Next, we got to get this main shaft out of here. And this little C-clip snap ring. This one is actually a snap ring. This one can be pretty tedious, but I've got this right angle. Good light helps. I got a 4-lamp fluorescent light right over my head. That helps a lot. This is I don't know if it would be why don't you hold this for me? Oh, baby. I love these. Right angle, who makes these? For internal or external? I don't know, it didn't have a name on it. Let's see, you got to slide reverse gear back, and then it's just finger tight. You can pull your reverse gear off. There's a little pin on that. I usually like to take the main shaft completely out, and if you're going to change that seal up there in the front, it's just easier to have it out of the way. Oh, that rarely happens, that you can get that clip right out like that. Alright, next thing is you gotta have a special socket, and you will cry if you buy a new one. And it's got a notch in it to fit around reverse. Now, you're supposed to tighten the bejesus out of these things, and most of the time you'll bleed. These sockets don't want to stay on very good, and most of the time they're truthfully, if you got a good socket, and it really helps if you've got like something to wedge in here, like a 2x4, that might not be a bad idea. Get ready, because this sucker will be a fight. Alright, that helps. Oh. Ah. I don't know. I've never tried torquing that down. I think it's over 100 pounds. Once you get her going though, and that reverse gear is in the way, so the only way you can do it no blood yet. That could change real quick. Too easy for the wrench, too hard for the hand. You've been there. They say do not reuse these nuts that hold the pinion shaft right behind your pinion gear. But I've always reused them. But there's a difference here. I'm doing my own work on my own car for myself. If I was farming this, doing this stuff. Alright, this is a special tool. You can use a Scissor Jack if you have the kind with both the side cover, but this came with my shift jig. I had to buy that socket separate, but it came with this. Came with a bunch of spacers, and we'll get to that later. Actually, it's kind of nice to. I could probably take it out. What the hell? I'll give it a try. Usually, I like to set the transmission up on the end of the bell housing. Then you're just pushing down. But let's see how this goes. This. Okay, make sure you got all your stuff off. And that just pushes out. That's got to be a press fit. That's where your pinion bearing is a press fit inside this case. for silicone. Alright, here's your gear cluster, and I think I'm going to take this right over to the I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm not going to hold it all night though, that's for sure. You got a couple of spacers here to set your depth. I'll have to reset up the camera. Oh, this reverse gear looks totally different than the early style. And that looks like there's a lot of tooth left, but definitely has been ground to the sides were square when it started off. Man, that is why reverse it. And this doesn't, on the early ones, they don't have this shoulder on the side. It's just the gear, and it sits inside a saddle, and you can just flip it over sometimes and wear out the other side. But this looks to be special. We'll have to take a closer look at that. And got a couple other snap rings here. Let me get you reset up and turned back on. My hands are all cruddy here. I don't want to have to get these two snap rings off the back, and you will learn some new cuss words. If you don't cuss, you may take it up. If you don't drink, you may start. Don't lose those. Make sure you keep track of everything. And it's good not to be drinking, and it's good not to have your friends around talking and radio. A lot of distractions. Forget answering that cell phone. Turn it off. This is going to require some focus and concentration and book work. And you still might not get your problem solved. Sometimes you see everything and it's straightforward, and it'll be obvious if there's a problem. This one looks pretty good. These spring clips are under tension, and now what I'm going to do is loosen up my shift fork so I can take my gear stacks out of the intermediate housing. And when you take these 11 millimeter socket, I don't know what size the bolt really is, but we'll just call it 11 millimeter. You have to take them all the way out. There's a notch in the shaft, and you can't slide things around. I do not. The book says to take these shift rods out, shift shafts. Shift shaft, shift shaft, shift shaft. I do not do that. There's a detent ball underneath it. I've always been able to work around it. And I already got reverse gear off. This reverse is a little different than the early ones, and you shouldn't really have to mess with that. What we're trying to do here is get these gear stacks out, and I may have to put this in. Everything's going to kind of go at once this thing pops out of here. And with training work, I don't know, an extra pair of hands sure would be nice. And you got some threaded things down here, plus your hands. There it goes. Whew. Always makes me nervous to get everything in tension. Now I'm just using a socket. Now you got those shift forks. I'm going to take This is time consuming, it's a pain in the ass. Not very many people do transmissions. If you look in the books, they got all these cool fixtures to do things. The more you do it, you'll start making your own tools. You'll know which tools you're going to have and what works, and you'll get it. Okay, these shipped forks, make sure they don't get hung up and in a bind. They'll get crossed up. Everything that can go wrong will go wrong with this job. I should be doing it in the morning instead of in the evening. Oh, it's the other side. Probably out of the camera frame. What a hassle. Get 90 weight oil all over my camera. Okay, got my gear stack out. First thing that you're going to notice right off is the teeth are finer. Now this is a Freeway Flyer, and I am impressed to see that it has steel shift forks. So either somebody's been in here before and added those, or I understood that they made different versions of that Freeway Flyer, and some were better than others. So this looks like it might be a good one. See how the shaft is ground down? That's why you can't slide these things off with the bolt in place. You have to completely remove the bolt. We're doing reassembly now, guys. I'm going to put it in the shift port jig. I went in a half a turn on this to help with this ground up reverse gear. I'm real pleased the way things turned out here. I replaced both synchros on first and second. Here's one of the old ones, and from a previous video, I'm not going to go through all the details on that, but between 40 and 70, between the face of the synchronizer, these things just wear out, and that's just all there is to it. And here's an extra new one. I got a pile of synchros here for tranny work, and never have the ones I want when I need it, but this time I got lucky and I had two brand new ones similar to that one. I measured them up, and all the grooves and slots are exactly the same. In the earlier transmissions, there's a difference. The aftermarket has addressed it by just making one kind of ring now for the newer transmissions. I don't know what you do for the old ones, and I never throw anything away because I'm always thinking that it might work different on another one. So get up here on the step ladder and I'll show you how reverse. See if you can see that. Okay, you can see how worn reverse is there, the edges of them. I don't know if you can see. There you go. You can see the reverse shaft. What I did was center it up, so there's plenty of the full tooth of what's left of the tooth is on the full tooth, and it probably was out of adjustment. This is the first time in my life I ever had to adjust one of these, and I went in, had to take the whole thing apart, and by golly, this is a lot of work to have to go through, pulling it out of the car, disassembling the transmission, taking those gear stacks apart to put synchros on, and holy smokes, I'm telling you, I hope it's worth it. I hope this is a good one when we get her back in there. And I hope I got that reverse gear adjusted. Now when I drill the hole in the side of the case, do my TheEZGZ mod, this is the screw that I'm getting to. Oops, gosh, have to keep looking at the viewfinder. This is the screw that you get access to. You can't get to any of the others. You can't get to reverse, it's clear back here, and fourth is way up here, and you can't drill a hole through this, but I always used to do that mod for first gear. And don't forget to put your shims in. Take those two shims out, put those in. This is just a nylon jig. I know where I'm covering stuff that I've been over before, and I've got playlists on transmission work, so refer to previous videos that I've made. And by all means, go visit our friend VW Darren. He's got some awesome engine and transmission, Volkswagen. He's an all-around guy, does everything. And John Marks, he lives in that area too, down there in Florida. He's put up some great videos on carburation, rebuilding stuff, front ends. Excellent hands. I shouldn't even mention names because there's so many of them. Look at some of the people that comment below my videos, and go to their sites and check out what they're doing, because there's a 100 of us or so that do this kind of work at home and post up videos about it. So it might help you out with a problem. There's a few Volkswagen. There's a whole lot of hot rodders that are doing some really cool stuff. Rat rods, hot rods, shows, going to shows, car shows, just cool stuff. So check them out, subscribe to them, and I think I'm going to call this a wrap. And thanks for watching. Thanks for subbing. TheEZGZ out.